How I made Bratty Thumbelina stop flirting with my boyfriend. Back in high school, I dated a guy who we'll call Jared. After school, Jared and I would hang out at his place with a group of 3 to 5 friends. One girl in our group of friends was interesting. We'll call her Trixie. Trixie was a petite girl whose entire personality revolved around being cute and petite. Also, despite being in a relationship herself, she was clearly into Jared. She would claim that things were too heavy and ask only him to carry them, comment on how tall he was compared to her, ask him for piggyback rides, just general nonsense that made us both sort of uncomfortable. I wouldn't tolerate this now, but we did at the time because we liked hanging out with her boyfriend. Well, it being that time of the month, I bought a new box of tampons to keep under the sink. It was one of those variety packages that includes different sizes, important for later. Later that afternoon I went to grab one and noticed that 6 or 7 of the light tampons were already missing. What the hell? Then I realized Trixie had been going to the bathroom a lot. Being so aggressively petite and adorable, I guess she considered it beneath her to use regular tampons. When we hung out the next day, she finished all of the light ones. I was wondering what she'd do when she approached me off to the side and asked if I had any more. I quietly told her no, sorry, but she could always use a bigger size so she wouldn't have to change them so often. She answered very loudly, looking right at Jared.
"Oh, I can't use those jumbo tampons like you, I'm way too tiny."
What the hell? I guess she thought it would sound sexy or something. So what did I do? I hid the entire box of tampons in his room and replaced it with a box of diaper-thick maxi pads that I only wear to bed. The next time she went to the bathroom, she was in there a long time, probably searching for the tampons I'd moved. When she finally came out wearing one of the diaper-sized pads, she crinkled like a fucking newspaper wherever she walked. Jared, knowing full well, asked the room at large,
"What's that sound?"
She left shortly afterward. She also cold-shouldered me from then on, which was just an added bonus as far as I was concerned. As a cherry on top of the cake, I heard through the grapevine that she's gained at least 50 pounds since high school. Hopefully she's found a new personality trait or two.
Enjoy that 0 on the final exam. This was the end of senior year of undergrad. I was rather studious, never missed a class, paid attention, turned in every assignment on time, got good grades. This other kid in class was nice enough, but a slacker, would bang his phone all class and was the worst group teammate. Throughout the term, we would say hi in passing, but that's about it. Desks in this class were the type where 2 people desks, and while there were no assigned seats, students tend to sit in the same seats all semester. So it struck me odd that when I sat in my seat, well prepared for the final, that Mr. Slacker immediately sat next to me. The exam was to be 80% Scantron, multiple choice and 20% essay, and was to be 50% of our final grade in the class. I had a strong feeling the extent of Mr. Slacker's exam preparation was his plan to cheat off of me. Professor was so lax, he sat at the front reading during exams. Sure enough, every time I turned a page, he turned a page. When I would fill in a circle, he would fill in a circle. Some students huddled over their papers to fend off cheaters. I leaned back, making it exceptionally easy for him. The only problem for him, though, was I would make a tiny dot next to the correct answer and fill in the wrong bubble for all 80 questions. Not surprisingly, we finished the multiple choice section at the exact same time, and I moved on to the essay section. Mr. Slacker, however, felt that 80, or maybe a few wrong, of the total 100, was good enough, and he went ahead and turned in his exam, skipping the essay section altogether. I finished the long answers, corrected my Scantron, and turned it all in. Did not hear his name called at graduation. Don't want to get your animals out of my apartment, pay $1,500. I, 22, used to live with 3 other guys. One of them had a girlfriend who was over all the time. She cleaned and bought stuff, so it was cool for a while. Then she asked us if she could pet sit 2 newborn kittens for a week while her parents were out of town. I knew I was allergic to dogs, but didn't know I was deathly allergic to cats. The cats gets there and after a day I'm an allergic mess. However, I agreed to them staying. There's not much she can do with them, so I put up with it for a week. A week goes by and the cats should be gone. I get home and they are still there. The girlfriend says,
"Oh. They're going to stay for another week."
On top of that, the girlfriend's boyfriend, my roommate, his mom has fallen and hurt her neck pretty bad and is in the hospital, so now he is watching his dog at our apartment. So I try to keep cool. Girl, the cats have got to go. Sorry, the week is up. You can't just keep them here. I told you I'm allergic, and you don't pay rent, so get them out. As for my roommate, I told him that I'm sorry about his mom, but that I can't keep living with animals I am allergic to. No one asked me if the dog could come, and no one asked me if the cats could stay longer. I suggest maybe they keep the animals at his girlfriend's apartment, who lives a whole mile away.
You are so ridiculous. You are crazy. My mom is in the hospital and you care about my dog being here.
Says my roommate.
I can't just bring these animals to my apartment, I have roommates. Gee bitch, what are we?
I storm out of the apartment and immediately head to the leasing office. I tell them that we have 3 animals in our apartment, and that we have not paid the pet fee, $500 per animal. I ask them to come by later, and make up an excuse that the animals are being too loud, neighbors are complaining, and that we didn't pay our pet deposit. The next day I come home from class and the girlfriend is crying on the couch.
The leasing office came by and said we had to get rid of the animals due to complaints.
Oh no. I responded. Luckily they got a warning about the pets, and didn't have to pay the $1,500. I suck at confrontation, so I love when other people can take the reins for me.
Tell me to cover up in my own yard, be beholden to my thighs every summer. So this is more of an annual revenge thing. About 5 years ago, a greedy councilman put up 3 two-story apartments next door to our house. One of these has a direct view of our pool area, and a grouchy woman and her husband moved into it. Anyhoot, as we have done in the 15 summers before they got there, we all went for an afternoon swim. The woman was on her balcony and made a huge dramatic fuss about going back inside and closing her curtains. She then screeched at her husband when he tried to go outside. It's not like we were indecent or anything, just in our swimsuits. We laughed about it and continued having a nice afternoon at the pool while she roasted inside. A few days went by and I decided it was too hot to be inside and went for a dip. I was in the middle of uni and this was the only time I'd leave the house between assignments and tests. Now, I do not have a body that stops traffic. I'm a regular, plump human whose Dorito-loving habits have begun to show around the lower body area. I take off my sarong and jump into the pool. After a few minutes I sense someone watching me, look up and find a man on the balcony smoking and staring right at me. I make a bit of an aggressive what? Gesture and he scurries back inside, only to return with the woman in tow. The conversation went something along the lines of,
"Excuse me? Could you not swim when my son is out here smoking? He just lost his job and this is the time he'd normally smoke, and you're out here naked and distracting him."
Ew. He's the age of my dad. He can smoke on your front balcony. And I've lived here for, at the time, 15 years, so you can't blame me for being here naked. Which I'm not, I'm swimming.
"I'm just asking you to be considerate, okay?" At this point the grown-ass man baby was looking smug.
If you don't like it then move. And I continued swimming. They stood there for another 5 minutes before once again going inside and closing the sliding patio doors and curtains. Also, I was not naked or indecent. I wear full swimsuits because I'm a little insecure about my belly. I told my parents and the next day my mom joined me in the pool to show them, and I quote, "what real traumatizing thighs look like." But that got me thinking though. I could make their summers a living hell if closing all their curtains was how they'd go about seeing us in the pool. So now every summer, weather permitting, I go out and flash my thighs for a few hours in the afternoon and have them roast up in their apartment. It's been 5 years of this and I will continue doing this until the day I leave home.